What's up, y'all? We are back with another video. We're here to do our 2019 highs and lows, and we're doing it mukbang style. Mukbang, all the above. So yeah, we did this a couple years ago, and it was really great. So last year we came on video and did it with y'all. This year we're back to do it on video again for y'all. So we haven't talked about this at all. So I'm excited and
I'm ready to eat, so
to hear what
grace,
Jená has to say. Father God, I just thank you for this food. I just pray a blessing over the hands that prepared it for us.
Thank you, Lord.
I just pray that we would honor you in all that we do. Honor your bodies that was broken and your blood that was spilled to cleanse us and forgive us of our sins. We just pray that we would glorify you in all things. And we just give thanks. And let's eat. Amen. We should start with highs or lows. I feel like we should start with a high.
Okay.
I would definitely have to say one of my highs was kicking off Supernatural Summer. I mean, Supernatural Summer just in general was an absolute high. But kicking it off with us traveling to Aruba and having such a great time there was really, really a blast. Getting the GoPro and just having that really, I felt like enhanced our trip. Just with us being able to, snorkel with it and diving off the platform and just having an all-around fun time with it. That was really, really cool. Obviously riding the ATVs with it. And that's probably your number one highlight of the year. But I feel like Aruba, all in all, and not just because it was my birthday trip, but just because we had such a good time together. That was a lot of fun for me. Like I said, it's not just the trip in and of itself, but the fact that it was kind of us ushering in of Supernatural Summer. It was in the first few weeks of after when I left my job, so it was good timing. We had just moved, and that wasn't a stressful experience, but it was nice to just step away from our things and just take the two of us and take our minds out of it and just go. So that was nice.
We didn't tell y'all what we're eating. So I have some clear soup. I have a spicy, crunchy crab, shrimp tempura, and shrimp and avocado. And then we have some gyoza. Yeah,
and then I've got some miso soup, a couple pieces of salmon nigiri, a few pieces of tuna nigiri, and then a spicy crunchy crab roll. It's a nice little combo. It's my favorite combo from this restaurant.
We got this from Tokyo Grill.
Yeah. What would you say was one of your highs? Doesn't have to be the most high, but
I would say definitely the birthday trip.
Why?
It's always fun to travel with you. And then it was, traveling to a new place, and we didn't, we knew where we were staying. We knew all of the details, so we weren't just thrown into the situation.
As opposed to other trips?
We did some excursions. I feel like it's the first trip that we've taken like that where
we were really prepared.
Yeah, and we weren't trying to do all the things that we feel like we need to do, but we did the things that we wanted to do.
Yeah, and we weren't figuring it all out along the way. Which when we went to Barbados last year for your birthday, it sort of felt like, we moved hotels on the first day. And then we were just kind of figuring it out along the way. And this trip was a lot more grounded. We knew we had some ideas, what we wanted to do, and we just kind of rolled with each day. And we were flexible, but still, knew what was the plan. And it was really good. What about what's another high for you?
I just went. It's your go.
Nope, you're going again.
Another high.
Because you kind of stole my high. You said the same thing I did, so.
I would have to say gaining like 5 pounds of muscle in that 3-month time span, and me actually like doing a DEXA scan, because I hired a personal trainer even though I'm a trainer, because I needed the extra level of accountability. And before I started working with him, I went and got a DEXA scan. And a DEXA scan is a really accurate way to determine your body fat percentage, your water weight, your bone, the weight that your bones contribute to your overall weight. And I saw that over the course of the time we worked together, I actually gained 5 pounds of muscle. But had I not done that, I would have been very sad, upset, and confused, because like I've been working out, doing better, but why does this scale saying that I gained 5 pounds? So that was for sure a high. Me seeing that what my body is capable of, and I wasn't even like doing the most to gain that muscle. I was just doing enough and being consistent, and so that was like refreshing for me as well.
Right, like I'm not speaking negatively, but you weren't perfect in the gym. Like you weren't going 4 strict days a week and 2 cardio days and then tracking all your calories. And I mean, we were flexible in our meals. You know, you would move training around when you didn't feel like you could go. You would move ballet around. But you still had, you were still very consistent in that you were at least doing, I would say, 2-3 things a week. Still eating on the healthier side than where we had been. When you still saw those results, which I think I can understand how the not seeing the scale move in the way that you want it to move is like not maybe unnerving, like frustrating, because you're putting in all the work. But I saw, your body was changing, your clothes were fitting different, so the signs were there before the DEXA scan, but that just really confirmed it. So I'm glad you did that. I need to get mine.
I was trying to look for places around here that do DEXA scans.
If it's not academic in Memphis, I'm not sure where it would be. You might have to go to Nashville to do it.
Or Mississippi, so I'm still looking for somewhere. You're high.
Another high? Moving back in with my folks.
Okay.
And living with them, and living back in Memphis, and building a deeper relationship with them. Because, in that 2-year stretch that we weren't here, or we weren't talking to them, there was a lot of feelings and emotions there, but one that came up after a while was like this feeling of like abandonment. And so that was a wound that I had. And even after we spoke to my parents and then went on the trip to Virginia with them, like there still needed to be some healing. And we've had our rough moments with my parents, just it's awkward living under their roof.
It's not awkward.
It's not awkward, but it's different. It's unusual for me, and it's unusual for us. As a married couple, we never lived but by ourselves. I haven't lived at home for 12 years. And then, not to mention that we're, Jená has her own business, so she's wherever she wants to be, but I'm not working in Memphis, so I'm technically here most of the time. So, the fact that we had so much time here made some situations happen that maybe wouldn't have, but I'm just really grateful for the time that we've been here. Like, I think you and my mom's relationship has really grown. Like, y'all have had a lot of spiritual moments together, prayer, just good, deep conversations. I've had the same with my dad, and I've had those with my mom too, but I feel like I've had a lot of them with my dad, and that's been good for us. That's been really good for us. We've worked together doing projects around the house, and that was really good. That's just a form of, I guess that's kind of our father-son love language, if you will. But we've also had some really good deep talks, and then like waking up and doing the crossword with my mom. That's a new fun tradition that we've had. But it's just been good to be around. It's been good to be back for Thanksgiving and Christmas, like around the holiday season. So that's definitely a high. I think it kind of, again with the trip to Aruba, that's kind of just woven into the supernatural summer. You know, like 6 months not working, trying to really figure out like where I'm at in life and what makes me happy, and our relationship, my relationship with God, my relationship with friends and family, and really just being introspective has made me really value the things that I sort of took for granted. How great our relationship is. Sometimes I can take that for granted.
What do you mean?
Just, we have an amazing marriage. We have a great friendship. You know, we have a ton of laughs together.
I know that, but you said take advantage of it. What do you mean?
Not take advantage, but take for granted. It's easy to get lost in the monotony of day to day, especially when you're working 5, 6, 7 days a week. And then I was putting work in front of you a lot and not really valuing the specialness of our marriage and our bond. I wasn't honoring you at all times, or even most times, by like putting you first. So this summer I've just really we've been curled up underneath each other so many days this summer, and I've loved that. I used to get really frustrated being around Jená a lot because I was like just ready to move, and we would just be down and chilling. But it was good just to be down, chill, you know, just us hanging out together. Like, you know, when the power outage happened, no TV, no nothing. We're just hanging out together, and it's so easy, especially with social media and Netflix and work and jobs, to just get caught up. So I've enjoyed the fact that we've not had to, but that we've been able to spend as much time together. And we've had our rough moments, but I think that our marriage is stronger. So, yeah, I was saying, being at home and being in Aruba is just kind of woven in with the supernatural summer as like this 6-month high throughout the year. So, what about a low for you?
Okay.
I can go first if you want me to, because I've got an obvious one. So at my job, they laid off a lot of people in the spring. And going through, I mean, we knew about it since October that layoffs were coming. I guess we technically knew since like early December, but October they announced that they were taking voluntary retirements. Anyway, we knew from January 1st, really from last year, that people were going to be laid off. And there was just this...
Are you watching yoga?
Yeah, I did. Oh. I think you've had 2. I've had 1. So you can have
I think I had 3.
Really? Oh.
So those yours.
Okay. So there was just this like uneasiness around work. Like work was getting done, but everyone was just kind of like their future was uncertain. And then when it actually happened, like my best friend got laid off, and I didn't think he was one that should have gotten laid off. And other people,
Your best friend at work.
My best friend at work. You know, he got laid off, and other people that got laid off, like, you know, I really cared about them, and wanted them to be okay. So that was a tough time, and that's partially, you know, what led to us leaving Michigan, because there was a lot of other stuff too, but leaving when we did and all that was tied in with it. So that was definitely a low, just seeing people hurt. But it also brought about some good things. So I have positive things of view coming out of that. That was definitely a trying time. That's certainly a low for me.
Mm-hmm.
How about you? You girls are so good.
Mm-hmm.
And your grandma?
No, I wouldn't say it was a low. Like, it was sad, but like, she ain't in pain no more, and I got to see her before, so like in my mind, like it's sad, but it's like I'm glad that she's okay.
Right.
I can't say or like pinpoint certain quote unquote low moments, but I can say that I've been frustrated a lot this year. Just about who I am, what impact am I making, and like struggling through communication with different people for different reasons. And so it's not like this was a low, this was a low, this was a low. It's just like a consensus of like different frustrations, figuring me out, figuring like next steps out, and then as I grow and develop in my communication skills, how do I talk to other people who don't communicate like I communicate, and just how do I deal with it, or how do I cope with it?
Do you think that you've seen the communication issues improve with in your relationships?
I guess for me, the part of my communication that I'm trying to like be more aware of or like work on is my reaction to things, or like my part of it, like controlling my part of it. And I feel like I've gotten stronger in the sense that I feel that even if somebody misunderstands me, it's okay. And even, you know, in my mind, I can want to have a conversation with somebody and, you know, want to be heard, want to hear the next person. And, you know, when conversations happen and it doesn't happen like that, being kind of like upset that it didn't happen or go as well as it could have, but then also trying to control myself from like acting out of anger or being petty or allowing myself to go down this path where I'm just super hurt and traumatized, but also having the capacity and the ability to be like, I feel like I'm a good communicator until I'm not. And where I feel like, the reason I say that is because if past interactions has shown me that even when I am my best at articulating how I feel, why I feel like this, really trying to understand, you know, the next person's side of it, and I've seen that even when I'm like that, you misunderstand what I'm saying, you misinterpret it, you know, you throw the blame back on me. It's like I get to a point where I'm just like, the communication is only as strong as both people will allow it to be. And if I'm trying to do my best to hold down my part on my end, and, you know, previous interactions have shown me a certain person or group of people, you know, don't hear me, then I'm more inclined to just be like, well, I just won't talk at all. I'll just have to talk it out with myself. I have to talk to God about it. So I'm just making sure I'm not in a place of, like, internal hurt. I mean, when I sit and think about 2019, I know there are a lot of good things about 2019. But this year was just, I felt like I was frustrated a lot for different reasons. And whether it were growing pains or not, it's just, I mean, 2019 was not a hard year for me, like, by any means. I just, when I sit and try to think of things, I guess I'm remembering just all of the overwhelm that I felt and all of the doubt that I felt. And, I mean, amazing things happened. And, you know, I did an okay job of, like, when good things were happening, jotting it down, journaling it down so I could, like, live in that moment. And maybe I'm just feeling like I'm feeling now because I've been frustrated for the last couple of days. So I'm speaking from a frustrated heart instead of true to what.
That's what I was gonna ask. If you feel like the past couple weeks, couple days has been, the way it's gone down has impacted the way you're thinking back on the year. Because I feel like we had a really good year. I mean, I know that there were definitely really hard times. And I know that
I wouldn't even say really, really hard times. I think, because this is the thing about, like, little frustrations. They're just, it's nagging.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bee buzzing, like buzz, 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 buzz. It's not that it's the bee is stinging you or like you've been overtaken by a hive of bees. It's just like a zzz, nagging, and sometimes that nagging consistently for a while makes it feel like it's this, you know, monstrosity of a thing, and it's not.
Mm-hmm. It still is. If that buzzing is taking your peace.
I have my journal out just so I can be put in remembrance of, you know, the good things. And so back in August, I journaled how great it's been living with my in-laws. I've journaled that I've been, you know, having a really good time seeing my parents and having conversations with them. I journaled that I had a really good time, an amazing time in Aruba, and my favorite thing was driving the ATVs.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen the ATV video, or the video of us in Aruba, go watch that video. There's not a whole ton of footage with us on the ATVs, but Jená was like, it was the most pure, joyful experience. She was just so happy. It was like a little kid on Christmas morning, you know.
I had a really good time.
It's so adorable for me to go back and watch you and know how happy you were.
I also write that it's really good to be around John so much, and we are not getting on each other's nerves.
Has that held true?
I would say so. And another thing that I wrote that I was grateful for was just my like my social media audience / family. On my personal channel, I reached 20,000 subscribers, and that is big for me. Like I just hit that at the beginning of this month, beginning of December, and I don't know why, but like certain milestones to get to this point didn't feel like anything, but certain milestones did. Like when I got to 5K, I was like cool. When I got to 10K, I was like cool. When I got to like 15K, I was like, I mean, it didn't feel like anything different. But when I got to 19,000 and 20,000, it felt different. And, you know, on my channel, I talk about, you know, not being so focused on the numbers, being focused on the mission and the purpose. And I felt like I have been my version of what consistent looks like, and put in, you know, a certain level of work to get to that point, and it made me really happy. And I was in the coffee shop the other day, and I overheard this man talking. He was saying this to whoever he was talking to. He was like, you know, numbers don't matter, but, you know, numbers are what they are. They don't matter, but they do matter because numbers are people. And, you know, they hit a little different. So I try not to get so caught up in this number. I try to take inventory of the number and like leverage the number to, you know, shift things around and move things around as relates to getting brand partnerships. But I never take for granted that anybody who chooses to subscribe to my channel or our channel, that's an honor. And so I feel like I have a community, and we have a community that's super supportive. That y'all be in the comments writing dissertations, and I love it. I mean, y'all don't come for the play. Y'all don't come to write, you know, emoji, kissy face. Y'all be for real, telling y'all stories and sharing y'all stories, and that's something that I wrote that my audience has been so great about understanding the transition that I've been going through and staying engaged with my content. And that's true today. It's true today as it was back in August.
I think it's not about having the numbers, but it's the fact that you know that there are 20,000 people that are subscribed to hearing you share your life. And, you know, you talking about your low is like finding your, you know, making sure that you're in purpose. And so those milestones are reassurance that, you know, God has set you on a mission to speak out and share your life. And that the fact that you've hit 20,000 confirms to you that what you have to say and share is important and people need to hear it. So it's not about the numbers for saying, oh, I got this many views, likes, but it is about the numbers when you're saying,
because the numbers are people.
Right. It's people. It's people that are here to hear you and to see God through you. So do you have any like spring or winter from the beginning of the year?
This is the journal that I got. I filled up my other journal, and so this one starts in August. So all in all, like, I know this year has been a good year. I know I've been frustrated many times this year, but I also know it's from learning and growing pains. I know that since I'm a bit in my feelings, you know,
it's clouding.
It's a little cloudy, and I can admit that, and I'm okay to share that, because this is real life. Like, this is real life. Sometimes
you get the good and the bad.
Yeah, you try to throw the baby out with the bathwater, not realizing you need to take a step back. It's not all bad. It's not all bad.
Right.
Yeah.
I just got that vision in my head of like people thinking like, I'm gonna climb this mountain to get my, degree, and it's like what my expectations are, and then like what actually happened. Got lost, went around the mountain 3 times, and it's like, but all those things were needed along the way. Maybe not all of them were needed, but
right, all of them were definitely not needed. Because
but,
we do get in our own way, like that is a thing.
But that's a learning point in and of itself.
Yeah.
If you're capable of reflecting. Right.
Yeah. So what are your overall feelings about 2019, and what are you focusing on for 2020?
That's good. I think overall I think the most feeling is grateful. I'm grateful that we've hit 5 years of marriage. I don't take that lightly. I'm grateful to now be in my 30s. I'm grateful to have had an opportunity to work for an amazing company and meet the amazing people and do the amazing work that I was able to do for that time. I'm grateful for seeing my shortcomings. I know that there's a lot that I do well, but I'm grateful to see my shortcomings and be able to look at that and reflect on myself more. I'm grateful for this time that we've been able to spend together, doing our own thing, living, much differently than we have before, and seeing how God's just been providing for us. We weren't expecting to do this past September, and now we're here almost in 2020, and this is still going on.
This meaning living with our in-laws, being in Memphis, John being without a job.
Right. So overall gratefulness. Gratefulness, but it's also come with like a lot of growth myself. Of knowing that I need to always like be the best me that I can be, to you at work, to my friends, to...
What does it mean? Be the best me that I could be. What does that mean for you? Without it being so, cliche or generic.
For me, it means I know this is kind of cliche, but that going back to that sermon that we heard about Avada, like working unto the Lord, like do all things unto the Lord.
So what does that look like for you?
It means taking my rest and finding rest in those restful moments. Being intentional about my time, working on the things that I say I'm going to do, actually putting in the work, growing spiritually. So having faith. My faith has grown a lot this year, especially with us moving out and moving on. But it comes with, the work. So putting in the work to make sure that, I'm well filled up with the word, and that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that I'm where I'm supposed to be, that I'm walking in my purpose as well. It's easy. I don't want to get long-winded, but being around you and seeing you walk in your purpose and like doing what you're passionate about all the time is really a blessing, just to see someone so fulfilled. And that's what I always want to be, is fulfilled and not tired. I always want to be that. And I was tired at work. I was tired in Michigan, especially towards the end, honestly, for the last year or two. And that's draining. So being away from that, I've been able to rest and restore and renew myself. Just in God's truth, reading the word a lot, listening to good sermons, and us being together, and me being really giving myself the time to sit in my emotions and my thoughts, and also giving myself the time to do what I need to do to fix my shortcomings.
How are you fixing your shortcomings?
Dedicating time to be in the word.
How does that fix it, though?
And that gives me the ability to know that, like, I don't have to be frustrated, that I can just go to God in prayer. And it's okay for me to, like, feel the feelings that I feel, but knowing what His Word says and what that is in opposition to the lies that, you know, I hear in my head from the devil.
So how you implement it just by reacting different in different situations when they present themselves?
Yeah. I think my focuses for 2020 are continuing to manage my time when it's more constrained, because, you know, I'm doing these things somewhat well while I don't have a 40-hour-a-week job, but make sure that I don't lose this momentum as, you know, we do move into a new city, whatever, and don't get bogged down in, like, the day-to-day life of just that routine stuff. Appreciate the small moments, appreciate the big things, be intentional about my growth, continue to stay in the Word, continue to do the things that I consider a priority, you know, put us first. So that's what I'm thinking about carrying into 2020. You know, my faith is number one, our marriage is number two, and let's say our faith number one, number two, like my personal, like, emotional feelings and, like, how I know I am where I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be, because I think that's important.
What do you mean?
Just, again, like, with the last 2 years of work, being so tired and, like, wanting to know that I'm in purpose, that I'm at the right position, that I'm at the right place, speaking to the right people, using my words, sharing my testimony. Because I believe that is important in order for us to have a strong marriage, right? I can't put our marriage first and not be whole myself. Like, because then it's just going to be me trying to, like, be what I need to be for you, instead of me needing to be who I am and who I am in God, which then fulfills, you know, my role as a husband and as a partner to you, in my opinion.
I understand. I get that.
So, what's your overall feeling of 2019, and how do you carry?
I don't. It's not necessarily that I'm trying to carry anything into 2019. For me, I just.
What are you gonna do?
I want to focus on slowing it down. Being.
What do you mean by slowing it down?
I know that one way that I defeat myself and the devil attacks me is with, like, confusion and overwhelm. I am a highly creative person, and so with me, God isn't short any creative ideas, like, none of that. But for me, it's not the lack of anything, it's it in excess.
Too much.
And so me trying to navigate so much and trying to do so much at one time, and then feeling like purpose is attached to this, and if I'm not doing this, then I'm not serving the people who God is trying to get me to serve. And so, you know, it's just so much that I become overwhelmed, so then I stop. And I know God wants me to be in community with women online. Like, I know it's, you know, I'm supposed to have some type of accountability group. I've known that for a really long time. And I'll start doing stuff, and I'll get women in, you know, my accountability group, and then something will be off and something will be not right, and then I'll get overwhelmed. And it's like, okay, I need to back this back, and I need to evaluate it. So 2020 for me is just like slow it down, you know.
Slow down your mind.
Just slow down trying to do so much. Like, get the ideas, harness the ideas, write them down, sit them on the shelf, and just take one thing and just do that thing, and really focus on doing it in a way that I want to do it, not in a way that I feel like I need to do it because that's the way my industry does it. I need to set up a program like this because that's the way my industry does it. I need to be, using this language or using this tool because that's the way my industry does it. And doing it in a way that I know I can stay energized, for myself and for the women that I'm trying to help via accountability group or one-on-one clients or coaching clients, all of that. So just taking it back a step, slowing it down, and just being consistent. Like, we've talked about how I want to be, more consistent on YouTube. What does that look like? What does that mean? Because I have a video on my channel where I talk about how God told me to be on YouTube, and I was actually talking to my friend last night, Sarah, about this. Just, it was a certain level of like insecurity and imposter syndrome that was like, no, I can't focus on YouTube. I have to focus on this business stuff, because what is YouTube? YouTube is just like here today, gone. Like, it could be here today, gone tomorrow. Like, there's nothing like. I feel like it didn't legitimize me like I wanted to be legitimized, and then getting on YouTube and like really getting into it and really seeing like the opportunities that were available and really seeing the numbers, which were the people and how they were affected and how they were impacted, and like getting the DMs that I get. Just showing up in the ways I'm supposed to show up. Because when I started to get consistent with YouTube, it's just like people would come to my YouTube channel and they would be really intrigued or blessed or whatever about what I was saying, and so that prompted them to actually then go to my business and go to my website and buy, personal development programs, buy fitness programs, buy, sign up for one-on-one coaching, or sign up for my YouTube coaching program. So it's like one, I'm thinking my business and doing Facebook ads and, doing all that kind of stuff was going to really drive the horse and was going to legitimize me when God was saying, you need to get on YouTube. And I didn't know what that meant and what it looked like. But when I was obedient to it, things start to change. So I've heard this said a million times, a million different ways. Like, if you feel like you're in a state of overwhelm or confusion or frustration, like, go back and do the last thing that God told you to do. And that's something consistently that I've asked him this year. I asked him last year, God, what do you want me to do? And me focusing on the last thing he told me to do. And I know the last two things that he told me to do is still YouTube. Like, that hasn't went anywhere. So I really have to be about my business about that, because like I said, I am my level of consistent, but I know God is requiring me to come up a level and to share, to be on YouTube and to share my journey and be accountable to women, and women be accountable to me. So that's why I, go back to the notion of like what this accountability group looks like. And I know the devil tries to attack me with overwhelm, and then I attack my own self with overwhelm. But if I slow it down, take it easy, and get consistent, and just take out all the distractions, that's what it is. So I'm not necessarily tying my 2020 to a certain, financial number or a certain number of clients, and none of those things are bad. But for where I am right now, because I've done that so much in the past, but for where I am right now, I don't want to do it. And maybe a part of it is attached to fear, like fear of it not working, or fear that, of disappointment, or if I set these goals that it won't happen. But I just know I just need to relax. And I just want my 2020 to be very restful, very peaceful, very intentional, and very consistent.
It's been a good year, but it's
definitely been a good year.
I will say it's been an amazing year.
It has been an amazing year. And as I read through more of my journal entries. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just having a moment.
I just thought about our trip to Orlando and our food tour.
Oh yeah,
that was such a great time.
That was this year.
Our time with Chris and Stephanie, we are our good friends in Detroit.
Wow, that was this year.
Yeah, that was a great time. We had a blast with them.
Yeah, this year was a really good year. I mean, we got to come home and be with your parents. I got to spend more time with, Jená, and I got to see Sarah. I haven't seen Sarah in what feels like almost a decade.
Yeah.
And we got to do a trip to Orlando with a couple of ours, and we met some really great interethnic couples that we vibe tough with, and we really wanted that. Got to hang out with Fred and Chastity more. It's definitely been an awesome year.
Working out with Justin.
This is the most consistent I've ever seen you in the gym. So definitely an amazing year, for sure.
Time that I spent with Chance.
So this has been a very introspective mukbang for us.
For sure.
Straight up real life. Because with us and with our channel, we know that authenticity is important. And real conversations are important. And we never want to come on camera and act like everything is good when it's not. That's why, you pop up and it's YouTubers that you love, and next thing you know, they're separated or things are going on, and it's just like you couldn't read it from the footage. And we never want to be that way. I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
We pray before we come on camera. If we are mad at each other before we come on camera, we pray about it. We just breathe it out because we want to be authentic. And if we not, we won't show up anything less than real.
Yeah.
So this is another part of us, another facet of us, of what it looks like for us to have not so good moments, and how we work through it for real.
We consider y'all our YouTube family.
Yeah.
And just like your regular family, you share life with them. Hopefully that you share your life with them and share your ups and downs and be there. Your family's not only around for the good stuff. So
yeah,
we are advocates for amazing marriages and faith-filled lives, but we recognize that we have to show that flip side of when it's tough. Like how do we navigate that as well? Yeah. So that's it for this video. We hope you guys have had a blessed 2019. Yeah. So in the comments below, go ahead and let us know. One high of 2019, one low of 2019, and something that you're going to focus on for 2020. Yeah. I mentioned a couple videos in this video. I will link those in the cards up above, and I will also link them in the description box as well. If you have not, please follow us on our newsletter. I'm going to link that up here and in the description box below. Follow us on Instagram is what I was going to say. We're trying to get JP to his first 1K on Instagram, and we're trying to get me to 10K. Y'all got me close. Yeah, really close. He's almost there. Trying to get me to 10K on Instagram as well. Yeah, also, we made a Patreon. We have a Patreon. We have content that's going up in Patreon. Actually, a video that was supposed to go on this channel, I am putting it in the Patreon about the Christmas tree shopping and all of that. So that'll be available for all of our Patreons. So far, we have 4. Last time we talked to y'all, we had 2. Now we have 4. We're just moving on up, and we are so blessed and so grateful. We are really honored. Our Patreons know that when they subscribe, I shoot them, we shoot them a message, and I'm always like, oh my God, you invested with us. It truly is an honor. We don't take it lightly. We do not take it lightly. We thank y'all. Yes. So until next time, bye. Be blessed. Be blessed.